GCSE English Literature, Much Ado About Nothing, Act 2, Scene 1, Summary, Themes and Quotes. Here are the timestamps of the video. So we're going to be looking at the introduction of themes, key events in themes, and then quotes. So here are the themes which are prevalent within Much Ado About Nothing, and specifically some of them will be in this scene. So they'll be represented by the symbols family, marriage, warfare, and deception. So let's look at the key events. So in this scene, Antonio, Leonato, Beatrice, and Hero discuss Don John's bad attitude compared to Benedict's. Leonato cautions Beatrice about her wit, saying that if she were to continue, no man would want to marry her. She declines the prospect of marriage. So Leonato is Beatrice's uncle, and if he were her father, then he would have that power to force her into marriage, and she probably would have been married now because she's a bit older than Hero. But because Leonato is her uncle, this means that he can only caution her and not control her as he does with Hero. The dance begins. Don Pedro, masked and assumed to be Claudio, goes off to propose to Hero. Benedict, who is also masked, speaks to Beatrice, who knows who he is. So Beatrice realises that Benedict, even though he's in a mask, is Benedict. But Benedict thinks that he's being sneaky and that she can't recognise him. So Beatrice purposely speaks badly about Benedict, pretending that she doesn't realise that that is Benedict. And Benedict actually seems truthfully hurt here. So this is the scene of the masquerade, and of course it's going to be a really important theme for the theme of deception. So if you were to ever get a question on this, remember the key events that happen in Act 2, Scene 1. So meanwhile this is happening, Don John and Borachio, the evil villains, approach Claudio. They pretend to mistake Claudio for Benedict, because again this is a masquerade, they're all wearing masks, so they're just pretending that Claudio is Benedict. And they convince so-called Benedict, who is actually Claudio, that Don Pedro is in love with Hero, and only woos her for himself instead of wooing her for Claudio. Now Claudio is so gullible that he believes this, and he becomes heartbroken. Claudio then delivers a lengthy monologue that in love you can't even trust your own friends, and it's quite comical because the entire audience can obviously see that Don John and Borachio are simply trying to get up to some mischief, but Claudio cannot even believe this. So when Benedict arrives and Claudio shares what Don John has done, Benedict doesn't believe it and mopes around all alone at Beatrice's slanderous comments. So Benedict is upset because of Beatrice, Claudio is upset because of Don Pedro. Now, Don Pedro arrives, and Don Pedro delivers to Claudio the good news that Hero has been persuaded to marry Claudio. He also tells Benedict that Beatrice felt insulted, to which he complains how every word stabs from her. So soon Hero and Beatrice arrive, and an argument erupts between Benedict and Beatrice. A remark implies that there used to be a romance between the two. So the audience is notified that there was a history between Benedict and Beatrice originally, which is why they constantly slander each other. Then Don Pedro informs all of the engagement of Hero and Claudio and Beatrice, who complains all are getting married but her, causes Don Pedro and a few others to secretly create a plan to unite Benedict and Beatrice. So again, another plan for deception. So let's look at some quotes of the scene. So this quote is quite lengthy, but you can split it up. He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. So this is Beatrice, and through this wordplay and almost confusion, she is suggesting that no man is for her because her standards do not include any man. beards are used to represent this, and here it's a very complicated symbol of masculinity. Beatrice's resistance to beards stands for her resistance towards men. Beatrice's high standards are represented by the impossibility of what she requires here. And there's also an extra level of irony, as in Shakespearean time, women were played by beardless youths, so beardless men, and the speaker would be a speaker without a beard, dressed as a woman, but being a man. So if you think of the contextual times, it would be quite ironic. The second quote, "Speak low if you speak love." So here, Don Pedro, pretending to be Claudio, not pretending to be Hero, pretending to be Claudio, says this towards Hero. His words seem to imply that courtship should be secretive, and there's quite a situational irony here, because Don Pedro himself is being secretive, for he is lying to Hero, saying that he is Claudio when in fact he is Don Pedro. The secrecy of love also seems to create a space of male anxiety regarding female fidelity, since Claudio grows worried that Don Pedro only woos for himself. So it shows how easily the secrecy of love can turn into something quite dangerous about infidelity, and in those times, in Shakespearean times, a woman's fidelity or a woman's faithfulness was very important, and if blurred at all, it would be that woman would be unable to get married and that family would have a terrible reputation. So if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit subscribe and comment down below any video requests.